So they'll be calling you a radical back. Went back to my city. My city's gone. Oh, Ohio. So the nightmare that's going on in Ohio. The day that it happened, people coming to me and they're like, "What do you think?" Don't know, but I do know there's a centrifuge plant in Pinkerton, Ohio. Oh, that was mothballed. No. It got re-upped. The Department of Nuclearism, which, by the way, you do know, Sam I am, not that Sam I am, the crypto scam. Sam was in court in Minnesota, the purse snatcher. Yeah, he's second in command there. So the chemicals, it's being reported, benzene. Now I'll post a link. Benzene, this is the United States government, calls it one of the major contributors, the major contributor to AML leukemia. As you know, I've been fighting AML leukemia since 2011. So that nightmare, reminds me of Flint, Michigan, Obama drinking his fake water. Here's the problem. You got a whole country that it's economy over ecology. The whole country, the breadth of the country culturally has drank that Kool-Aid. They don't give a shit about their own health. They don't give a shit about anything else. They care about their money. Economy, which the economy's in a ditch. You've seen the debt lately. 31 trillion. This debtor's hell. But anyway, so the nightmare that's going on in Ohio. Benzene, hello. We have a captured media. We have an ignorant populace. We have corrupt politics. It's an absolute disaster in this country. But, it just happens over and over and over and over. It's going to continue to happen over and over and over because the breadth of this country, like to say that they went after these guys, put them in a trial, they're going to find them not guilty. Look at what's happening on Roundup right now. We know it causes cancer, whatever, but the American populace has drank the Kool-Aid. Economy. Fuck the ecology. They don't care. They don't care about their own health. They don't care about their environment one iota. It's like, okay, here we are in Ohio. I'm not. I'm in Utah. I was heavily involved, fighting the nuclear bailout in Ohio. I was really involved with a lot of good activists. And we knew, I was one of them that got one of those crazy texts, and the threats. The nuclear energy crime syndicate was bribing Ohio politicians. You have a good FBI office in Ohio, by the way. Now, hopefully they get involved in this. They're the ones that broke it, that they were bribing Ohio politicians, the House Speaker, householder, and crew. One of them's already committed suicide. They went after and charged, but they didn't charge the bribers, just the bribees. So Judge Adams went after him. He says, I want the names of these bribers. I'm going to put you lawyers in jail unless you give them up. They gave them up. Is there been any charges against First Energy? That's where the Browns Stadium is named after. No wonder they can't win a game. Of course, the NFL's fixed. But, this is Ohio. Oh, Vance's going to save you. He spoke at Weber State. Oh, God. That dude gives me the creeps like no other. Utah gave him a bunch. Same with your others. They're not going to do shit. Your governor? Oh, God. So, benzene causes cancer. That's an argument. That's the United States government. When I got leukemia, and I'm an AML leukemia survivor, about the third day I'm in the bone marrow transplant, 11-11-11, they bring in this packet about this thick. Will you fill this out? If I can read it, I can't even barely see. Every question in it. Exposure to benzene, exposure to nuclear fallout. Is your father a nuclear vet? Yes. Every question in it, and it's this thick, was exposure to radiation, nuclear fallout, and exposure to benzene. Every question in it. They know. I'll post the link. So Sam, who's he's second in command at the DOE gives them, under the Biden, Trump gave more nuclear pork out than any president combined. Obama, dumber, the cover-up of Fukushima. Until Biden come along, Biden gave $1.8 billion. Yes, there's a Department of Nuclear Energy. Second in command was in court yesterday in Minnesota, the purse snatcher. Talk about purse snatching. I mean, this in Ohio is an absolute nightmare. But that's where we live in this country. Mainstream media, well, alternative media, it's all captured. It's all completely captured. We have no social media outlets. I mean, we have nothing. We can't find shit. You remember when YouTube used to call themselves the Great Equal? All they do is kettle us, attack us. I mean, I'm one of the pioneers of YouTube. As the activist, I do the work on the ground. I mean, we had to, as the scientist, as the PhD, I had to go over. The very pioneers of this genre are being eaten by the very monsters we created. Well, we've been eaten by the monsters we created. So, the disaster in Ohio, I mean, welcome to America. Economy over ecology. Economy over ecology. People just don't care. I mean, they drank the Kool-Aid. How did they do it? One by jet stream, two by cable TV. I mean, what a fucking nightmare. What about Fukushima? Dead tide pools right there. Now they want to put everybody laughing at me. It's going to wipe out the starfish. I did all that historical, incredible tide pool work, and they're laughing at me. They want to put some of the starfish on the Endangered Species Act now. They're going to put this Chinook salmon on the Endangered Species. Everybody laughing at me. Remember, we had record numbers on tide pools, record numbers on salmon, record whale numbers. They took the humpback off the endangered in 2009. They're getting ready to go back on. This incredible acute ecology, but it's the nuclear crime syndicate. Again, don't talk anything. You might disrupt the economy. I remember walking the coast of California when I'm dying of cancer, and I would talk to the EPA right out there. And what about what's coming off of not our job? Not our job. It's nobody's job. Just collect money is everybody's job. Again, economy over ecology. Economy over ecology. I mean, in the old USA, now America. Unbelievable where we've gone. So, the activist artist, Kevin Blanch, as I use the soup can metaphor, and I flip it, and everybody thinks Warhol. So I watched the documentary on Warhol yesterday, because I'm quarantined, so I don't watch all the documentaries, and, everybody thinks I'm this giant fan of Warhol's. Not really. I mean, but there's one thing that I really love about Warhol. The way he mocked and called out and exploited pop culture. I mean, he exploited it to the 10th fucking power. But as far as him, he was an exploiter. He exploited every single fucking person he ever come talk to me in his fucking life, including this documentary. He's still exploiting you. These aren't his exact words. They've been cropped. They've been chopped. They've been edited. This whole thing, take it with 3 grains of salt, but I didn't learn anything new about Warhol that I didn't already know. But even he, at the end of his life, said, your wealth is your health. But Warhol was a master exploiter. He never, ever, nothing was original he did, including the soup cans. I mean, Marcel Duchamp's bastard son, nothing was original. He exploited every single person that ever came into contact with him. He was a master exploiter for what? Money. Money. He was all about the money. That's all he ever was. He never, just look at the great graffiti movement. Jean-Michel and crew, and he tried to hijack that. I mean, he did everything he could to hijack that. And, some of that work that he did at the end of his life, I like it, but it's nothing's original about him. 0.0, including the soup cans. In the soup can metaphor, you got to go back to Elsa Platz. She wore the soup can bra with her shaved head walking around pure data, Marcel Duchamp. She just called Marcel Duchamp Mars. So that's the soup can was not his idea. He never invented anything. He used to call the critics up all the time. They used to come and look at his stuff, and they never liked his stuff. And one time, one of the critics walks out and he says, "Well, it hit me." First off, I'll go back up. He's telling him, "Well, you're dripping off the cans." Again, copying the drip. Of course, Pollock never invented dripping. Max Ernst was the original dripper with the cans, and then, of course, the rascal. But, why are you dripping? I don't know, you got to drip. Well, I don't like it. Warhol's like, neither do I. But he walks out and he says, it hit me. It's not the painting the soup can, it's the idea to paint the soup can. But that was never Warhol's idea. But then, Kevin Blanch, you got to paint the fucking suit. I flipped the soup can behind my back. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that again here soon. Hit it with my bat, metaphorically. It is the great metaphor to overconsumption. And it was long before Warhol came along. He exploited it. That's what a Warhol did. Warhol exploited it. And the one thing that I do have in common with him, he called it out so fucking early. He called it out he called out the celebrity contemporary culture freak show to the 10th power. Then he exploited it. Then he exploited it on Balco. Then he exploited it some fucking more. He exploited it like no fucking other. My gallbladder went at the same time his gallbladder at 58 years old. I got cancer the same age as, the same cancer as Grant Wood. He passed. I love Grant Wood's work. Warhol and I are opposites of each other. I'm not the greatest. I'm the great exploited. I've been exploited from birth. My father nuclear tested in the Nevada test site. I've been fighting my whole life. To the point that it's cost me my academia career, it's cost me my plasma career, it's cost me my, Wall Street career, all of it. It's wiped me out, impoverished me, fighting these monsters. I'm the opposite of Warhol. The one thing we have in common, though, is we did, that's what great artists do. Great artists do. And, of course, he was smart enough to play along to where he was not persecuted. Michelangelo. He played along. He played him. He played him like a fucking plastic Walt Disney fucking Donald Duck fucking stringed fucking fiddle. Oh, he played him. He's still playing him. He's playing him from the fucking grave to this day. He never said one fucking word, I don't think, in public that was ever true. The only word that he ever said in public, I think, because he was asked one time, why are you making all these films, Andy? A lot easier than painting. I think that was her. He tried to exploit John Michel. He tried to exploit that whole fucking movement, which I love that movement, by the way. What they've done to his work is disturbing. What's his name, who's of Hispanic roots, who was the great graffiti artist. I love that fucking dude. He's like one of my favorites. When they did the soup cans on the subway, I love their fucking work. But Warhol never did anything original. 0.0. He was the great exploiter. Exploited everybody. He took these fucking foolish ass fool fucking celebrities, fucking thought they were all that, and he just fucking worked them over. He exploited them, and then he fucking exploited them on Balco. Then he exploited them again and exploited him. He took exploitation to the moon. He was an up-daughter. When he drank the Kool-Aid, he did it for money. Died too young? I don't know. He was in incredibly poor health, when he went in there for that surgery. But I'm the opposite of that. I use the soup can metaphor fucking every way I possibly can. I flip behind my back. You gotta drip. No, you gotta flip. I've tried to be original. I've tried to be Dada. I've tried to use everything I can as the activist, artist, the scientist. And Warhol saw it early, the contemporary freak show, and these popularism, and he called it out. Look at what we are, where we're at. Look what it is. Everybody, we got 15 minutes of fame fucking on TikTok. Fuck. All we hear is radio goo-goo. Nobody gives a fuck about the ecology. Not a fuck. Which blows my fucking mind. Economy. Why the economy's in a fucking ditch? You seen the debt? $31 trillion. You know what the debt was in 99? What, 3? This country's gone to fucking, and everybody's, look at the hours you're working. Look at your fucking health, mentally, physically. I wonder what. This kind of thing happens over and over because there's no accountability. Because juries can't get convictions. Because the American populace, they can find a jury, they're going to say, no, bring my good fairy tales, yay. Fucking socialism versus communism. What the fuck? We redistribute more wealth than any fucking people on the face of the earth in the history of man. Well, look where it goes. PPP loans. Now it's reported the accountability office is saying fucking 70% of it all was ripped off. You dump $11 trillion onto the economy like that, Biden and fucking Trump, they're twins. They're fucking twins. And there's no accountability for these earth poisoners. Ask Bear Monsanto. Fucking ask any of them. We know it's poison, but these fucking farmers and the big ag welfare fucking queens, They're still using it like they don't care. They'll kill their own family. They'll kill themselves for money. For fucking government part, and they call themselves fucking capitalist. Oh, fuck. It's unbelievable what we've done in this country. It's a nightmare what's happening in Ohio, and they're fucking lying. I can guarantee you the fucking... Who's going to tell you? The media? There is no media. Look what happened on First Energy, the nuclear energy crime syndicate, and those bribes. Has any of those bribed? Yet you got the bribees, rightfully so, were put in fucking cuffs and fucking charged, headed to prison. One of them already committed suicide. What about the bribees? The people that bribed them? The nuclear energy crime syndicate. Untouchables. There's your problem. These big fish, still $1 billion, pay back $1 million. That's the punishment? That's not punishment. That's incentive. These guys don't get away with this. It's being reported, there's benzene all over. Well, I'll post the link. The government themselves says benzene's the major contributor to AML leukemia. You don't want that disease, I'm here to tell you. It's fucking sad as fuck. Yet, politically, people will not fucking... You get up on the stump and you start talking, you're pro-environment, you're pro-fucking mental health, you're pro-physical health, you're pro-life, not in the abortion, non-abortion way, don't take that out. I'm talking about our lives as we've already been born. Us people that live on Earth. The quality of our health, the quality of our environment. You get booed off the fucking stage. You get fucking shit thrown at you. And then when you wonder why this kind of shit happens, because there is absolute no accountability. Politically, socially, what's that old line? Culture eats policy for fucking breakfast. Well, there's where culture, how did they do it? I don't know, but they did it. When you could cover up the greatest ecological catastrophe in human fucking history, 3 full-blown out, we're afraid of nuclear meltdowns, we're afraid of nuclear meltdowns. When you can bail out this fucking thing, and so, back to Pinkerton. They got fucking the license to enrich uranium again. Paducah, Kentucky. Remember when they used to do it there? Got hit by the tornado and it was full of Russian waste. What? The centrifuge process takes place in New Mexico, for the most part. At WIP. Oh, I remember talking to a guy at San Diego. He says, I worked on the WIP drawings, when I was a young man, about my age. It was a nuclear repository they never built. I says, never built. By the way, post-Fukushima, I'm the guy that broke that fucking story about it, the so-called salt fucking truck. Containers from right here in far west Utah. Peterson fucking fabricating. That was their containers right here. There's zirconium rods right here. Western zirconium. So, when you get in an argument with a pro-nuclear fool, Fukushima, I have this argument with PhDs, supposedly, experts, which they're not experts. They're propagandists. For money, Warhol. Warhol did everything he did for money. Everything. He exploited. That's what the nuclear industry does. His work stand the test. Oh, the soup cans will. I'll tell you what. Because he mocked it so heavily and called it out. That's what great artists do. Great artists see it first. And they fucking paint it. They video it. They flip it. They bust it open. And they're persecuted people. The greatest activist artist who ever lived, Michelangelo. People think he was all famous for all. No. They hated him forever. So back to the centrifuge process in Pinkerton. So I just say, okay, so nuclear energy, water boilers, we get uranium from the earth, right? That's called uranium-238. It's natural from the earth. We mine it, leave tailings hanging all over. Yeah. Well, that's not what's in a nuclear energy reactor, the pellets that go into the Karen Silkwood on Balco, into the rods. That's uranium-238. How do we get it from uranium-238 to, and this is not after the fact, after we boil the water and use to make depleted uranium, white phosphorus, weapons grade, which is against international law that we use all the time. Went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Went off to Iraq to get Dick Cheney for in a big old sack. Went off to Vietnam to kill depleted uranium all over our own men. So, nuke your own men in the Nevada test site? Fuck. Oh, my dad. Think it causes cancer? Birth defects, heart. You know nothing. So they centrifuge it. What's that? So they take uranium, natural from the earth. It leaves a 97% byproduct, and they spin it. So they put it in these giant cylinders, and they spin. One goes one way, one goes the other way, inside the very cylinder, and then they hit it with gas, hex gas, which is nasty, really nasty, the chemicals they use to gas it. To induce it, it starts to separate. And the centrifugal force going the other way will cause it to separate, to get into the outer part of the cylinder and collide with each other, which splits the atom, which leaves an incredible byproduct of what we call plutonium, californium, Einsteinium, livermorium, photonium. Well, no, that's Fukushima, Kevin Blanch's work. Californium, rest in peace. TikTok, Diablo King. What? That's what's in a nuclear reactor? The hex process and that centrifuge. They got the license to do it in July of 2021. Now, I'm not saying that's what was in those tankers, because it's been disclosed what was in those tankers. Nasty, nasty, nasty. And then, I mean, the EPA, they're going to say, again, they're like Warhol. They're there to exploit us. All these government employees, all these politicians, left and right, they're exploiters for money, for money. You know, Blanch versus Warhol. I'm the opposite. Well, Andy, I'm completely the opposite. I'm not an exploiter. I'm an exploited. I use the video camera just like he was using the video camera, but completely for a different reason. You know? One thing we do have in common, Warhol and Blanch. Warhol. And I use his metaphors so heavily because he did. He was the master and the king. Exploitation. He took these celebrities and these critics and these popular culture figures. He exploited the fuck out of them. Then he exploited them on Balco. I mean, incredible. So, you know, I say it all the time. You know, America the last 30 years. Mark Wire swinging Albert Bell's bat while riding Lance Armstrong's bike while on the top of a Bob Baffert trained horse. You know, if you don't understand those metaphors, shouldn't you be watching? You know, all cheaters, all corruption. The United States Post Office was fucking doing the dirty work on the blood doping for Lance Armstrong. My friend, the communist holes. I mean, that's where I lost it with Sheryl Crow. I used to like her until I found out she was hanging around with Lance Armstrong. I'm like, mamas. Warhol was the king of exploiting these celebrity freaks. He called it out fucking 60 years ago. He warned the fuck out of us. Look, and he was nothing but a smart ass, sarcastic, never did anything original, not one single fucking thing. One of the most famous people in American culture, no doubt, just like he said it would be. The great exploiter. He never, and look what he did to the graffiti. Jean-Michel said it himself. I mean, he jumped in with that and tried to exploit that. Had nothing to do with him. Get to the sidelines. That's their movement. You know, and so, but that's what he did. That's what he fucking did. But he called this out to a fine science. He says, hey, look, you dumb fuckers. These overconsumption junkie freaks, consumption junkies, what's your function? We're consuming well over 50% of the world's fucking product. Only make up less than 4%. In 1980, we consumed 12. You know, and we break that record every fucking year. Whose fault is this? The American Consumption Freak Show. You could charge these executives, you know, granted, proof is in Ohio. The bribes at the fucking First Energy. They go after the bribe ease, rightfully so, criminal derelict. They did the same thing in Utah. I caught them red-handed with this skill. They bribed these fuckers, but they'll do nothing. They did, multiple houses. The only one that they did it in New York, says King Cuomo. They did it left, right. I caught him. Kevin Blanch is the only one that was fighting them. Yet they do not go after the fucking big dogs, the bribers. Judge Adams, I want their fucking names. I want their names or I'm going to lock you up right now, you lawyers. Oh, they gave them up. They still won't charge them. Why? Because they're AKA. Because it's about the money. And the American populace has drank the Kool-Aid. They can't get convictions in courts. What? Bear Monsanto's won 7 in a row now. When we know factually that it causes cancer. And these big agricultural welfare queens who call themselves free markets, who are nothing but welfare, we dump all the fucking dairy and, feed them money. We have fucking floors on this. We won't let a free market set the price of milk and cheese. We just dump it out and hand them money. Yet they're calling themselves free marketers when they're welfare fucking queens. And they know fucking well that Roundup causes cancer, yet they're willing to spray it, kill their own family. They've run me out of my house. I can't even live in my fucking own place anymore. Well, there's the problem. The American populace has drank the fucking Kool-Aid. Lock, stock, barrel. Economy over economy. Warhol, towards the end of his life, supposedly said, according to her, that your health is your wealth. Well, he said it way too late because she never took care of his fucking health. And I'm the opposite of Warhol, but I respect his work for one reason, because he mocked these pieces of shit. He laughed at them. He fucking played them. He fucking warned us all about the consumption fucking popism culture. I've carried my signs in front of the MoMA. I did all those great protests with me and Eric Oppenheim and all this. All those protests are so fantastic. The MoMA and the New York art scene's so corrupt. And if you don't believe it's fucking corrupt, you look up who Leon Black is. Look up Jeffrey's coming over, Epstein's fucking ex-girl from Sweden's husband. There's the doorkeepers at the MoMA. Glenn? Yeah, look them up. They're the MoMA fucking... These are the people running the art scene in New York fucking City. Fuck. Warhol played those fucking losers clear back then, too. He played them like a fucking fiddle. He just laughed in their fucking face. He never said one thing true, ever. Except for... The only thing I think he ever said true in public was... That's why people are interested in his diaries, because it's from his heart, supposedly. I think it's all cropped and chopped, and she edited everything, but, Why are you making these movies, Sandy? It's a lot easier than painting. Oh, boy. So, you got to drip. No, you got to flip. Flipping. I'll be back to flipping the soup can behind my back soon, I hope. And so, what a fucking nightmare we're in this fucking country. Economy, economy, economy. Jesus died so I could be rich. Fucking billionaire baseball players. Fucking, fuck, billionaires should be against the law in this country, like it was in the old days. There were no fucking billionaires. There's no accountability. These fuckers will get away with this. And they'll poison, well, they already did poison the whole, in the plume, just like Fukushima. No accountability. No one will even talk about it. Don't say the F word. Is this even possible? Full blown out fucking nuclear fucking meltdowns that we're afraid of. We spent billions and trillions, and instead of fucking being the anti-nuclear, we advanced nuclearism. I would have never fucking believed it. Warhol called it out. He warned us. This fucking celebrity fucking politician, pop culture fucking freak show, and he mocked the fuck out of it. He exploited him. He's still exploiting him to this day from the fucking grave. That's all he ever did. He was the great exploiter. I'm the great exploited. You got to drip. No, you got to flip. It's not the paint of the soup can. It's the idea of paint. No. You got to paint the fucking soup can. I'll be back at it soon, getting my work done. Thank you, everybody, for supporting historic work. Stay tuned.